Hello, everybody, and welcome to This Week in Astrology with your friend Gretchen Heidel, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And I am here tonight live on Monday. It is November 20th, 2023, and I'm going to go over This Week in Astrology from November 20th all the way until November 26th, 2023, which includes the start of Sagittarius season, and also we're going to be going through the United States Thanksgiving holiday. So welcome if you are just joining me live. Go ahead and comment below your astrological sign, or even if you're joining me on YouTube, I am co-recording for YouTube. I always post the replay after the fact. So if you're just joining me live, welcome. Post below your astrological sign, your sun, your moon, your rising, if you know it, and also where you're tuning in from. I love to hear from everybody. But we have a big week in astrology. It's going to be a busy week in astrology. Start of Sagittarius season, like I said, and even we have some planets on the move too. So we should know about that as well. So yeah, we have a busy astrological week, including today even was really busy. I didn't even get a chance to post today. It was so busy, but the sun was very busy today all day. And we had that whole thing happen over the weekend. Lots of energy with Mars, the sun and Mars conjunction that we just came through. It's still conjunct. Mars and the sun are still conjunct. They're still going together, though they're starting to sort of, spread apart just a little bit. But the sun and Mars are both in the astrological sign of Scorpio for now, and they're together in the sky, and they are creating some energies in Scorpio for sure. There's a lot of energy in Scorpio right now. And go ahead, make sure you like the post, make sure you comment, and get the algorithm rolling, because it doesn't look like it's going very far. Sometimes it happens on Facebook. So hey, Wendy, welcome. Wendy in Vermont, also Aquarius, lovely. We're still coming down off of that, and a lot of people call it a cazimi conjunction, whichever, tomato. They're both kind of in a way interchangeable. But there is that big thing with Mars, and Mars is the god of war. Mars is aggression, Mars is anger, Mars is motivation and drive. But the problem with those two is that they also aligned with Neptune over the weekend, and that was kind of weird, because it's like Neptune's not about ambition, drive, motivation. It's more about like, hey, let's meditate, pray, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm wondering which camp are you in? Were you in the extra energy camp, or were you in the gotta lay down and take a nap camp? There was two camps this weekend that we just came out of. So go ahead and comment below. Oh, yay, Melinda. Hello. Welcome. Capricorn sun. I love that. Marianne, hey, welcome. Awesome, Leo. You being tagged there. Hey, Rita, welcome. Virgo in Colorado. Wendy said motivation took a walk this weekend, still looking for it. Yeah, exactly. Andrea said both. Okay, so she had laying down, but then she had motivated on Sunday. Kathy said energy on Saturday. Yeah, see, everybody, there was two camps. I was definitely talking to a lot of people last week that were it was a very polarized. It was like either one or the other. Very extra energy or not really too much energy. Kathy said take a nap camp. Yes, exactly. I don't know if I was take a nap, but I was definitely like kind of like foggy and fuzzy. So I think Neptune was really up in my stuff there, because I was a little bit drifty and daydreamy a little bit, and that's definitely more the take a nap camp. Neptune definitely highlighted probably my Pisces moon, so that would be the reason for that. It was very much energy either in Scorpio and Pisces that were kind of interacting. Holly, Libra sun, okay, awesome, in Vermont too, yay, welcome. We were just talking, Holly, about whether you had a lot of energy this weekend or not very much. Okay, so getting into this week, and it makes sense because some people are saying like at the end of the weekend they were getting more energy. That's because the sun on today, Monday the 20th, was very active. Today, the sun formed a sextile with Pluto. Okay, so the sun in Scorpio, Pluto in Capricorn, and that happened at a peak just a couple hours ago, 4:26 p.m. Eastern time. And then we had the sun formed a conjunction with Ceres, the great mother, okay, and that happened at 10:36 a.m. today. So the sun was very active. And then we also had the sun squaring the moon in the form of the second quarter lunar cycle. And that happened very early this morning at 5:50 a.m. Eastern time. So again, overnight at like, what is that, 3:50 a.m. East Pacific time on the West Coast. So if you're out on the West Coast, you were feeling this really overnight. And the sun being in Scorpio and then the moon in Aquarius, that's a little not so fun. And this is also what I nicknamed the second chance new moon was this morning. So if you guys forgot to write your new moon manifestation list, you can go ahead and write it now, tonight, even after the broadcast, or even while the broadcast is going on. If you want to write that list out, all the things you would like. If you missed the new moon manifestation list last week, and that was last Monday on November 13th. Now we're at the second chance new moon, which is the halfway point between the new moon and then the upcoming full moon. The upcoming full moon is going to be on next Monday. So all these moon cycles have been taking place recently on Mondays. So I'm going to be seeing you after the fact, but it will be Monday in Gemini. The full moon's going to be in Gemini, so that's a big full moon, coming, because we're starting Sagittarius season already this week, so it's kind of crazy. Kelly said Pisces moon. Yeah, I mean, you might have been feeling that because Neptune is really kind of sitting on your moon. Ashley Ann, welcome. We're going to be talking about you tonight, Ashley Ann, because it's Sagittarius season. Wendy said, manifestation list is already coming true. Oh, that's great. Congratulations. Katrina, I haven't seen you in a while. Greetings from Maine, she said. Sagittarius sun, Cancer moon. Love that. Yes, Andrea, full moon in your astrological sign. So if you are a Gemini, coming up for you on Monday night, next Monday night, you're going to be feeling that. And that's going to be on November 27th. The peak of it, the height of it, is going to be at 4:16 a.m. Eastern time. So again, like 1:16 a.m. on the West Coast. And so, but it'll be sun in Sagittarius and then moon in Gemini. So that's going to be a very big kind of deal there. Kelly said, good for you, Wendy. Yes, exactly. Good for you. So today is the halfway. So I saw the moon just prior to here, and oh my goodness, I love the half moon. I think it looks really pretty. So it's in 27 degrees Aquarius. So if you are an Aquarius or if you're a Scorpio today, you're feeling this energy. And this is where we're reevaluating something. We might have started something on the new moon and then suddenly it was like, oh, I gotta make an adjustment or I gotta change something up. That's what the halfway moons are all about, okay? It's all about sort of making an adjustment and sort of, now, again, it's usually a little nicer during the new moon adjustment than the full moon adjustment. But either way, it's still an adjustment. So it's something that we have to adjust today. And again, we're getting solar power, that solar energy, the sun forming a conjunction with Ceres. Now, over the weekend, Rosalind Carter died, former First Lady and wife of Jimmy Carter. And it was interesting because I don't know if you guys remember me saying this, but when Queen Elizabeth passed, there was a big Ceres thing going on. And now we have again a big Ceres thing going on where it's sort of like a great mother has passed away. And however you feel about politics or whatever, but she's, a former First Lady of the United States. So that's like a great mother right there. And yeah, that happened when Queen Elizabeth died. So there was a big Ceres thing. So now we have Ceres conjunct the sun right now in Scorpio today. Like I said, that came earlier this morning at 10:36 a.m. and was activated all weekend. And the day that she passed, it was also activated. Ceres, the great mother, was activated. So that is happening. Now we have, again, the reason why I'm bringing this up, what happened last week, is that the sun and Mars are still conjunct each other. So you're going to hear me talking about sun and Mars, sun and Mars, sun and Mars. It's like, they're still going on. So they're both working together to aspect different planets, whatever the planet may be. So today, the sun formed a sextile with Pluto. Tomorrow, Mars is forming a sextile with Pluto. Now, Yikes, and Ceres, by the way, Ceres is in the middle of all these. Ceres is conjunct Mars and the Sun also. So Ceres is right up in there again, the great mother in Scorpio. So she's going to be sextile Pluto tomorrow also. Ooh, Pluto, okay. So sextiles are usually positive again. Sextiles are something that's considered to be like a gift or a blessing, but it requires a little bit of energy on your part in order to bring it to fruition and to get that baby home, to drive that baby home. So when we're talking about the Sun, Ceres, and Mars all together in Scorpio, forming a sextile with Pluto, which is in Capricorn, this is good. Okay, that's good. But this is Pluto. We have to look at the players. The Sun is positive. Ceres is considered to be positive, but Mars is and then Pluto. So there's like a little bit of a mixed bag going on. And you can even see on this broadcast notes that some people experience, like I said, the energy from last weekend, and they were like extra energy, and some people were like, nope, not me. I'm kind of on the down. So that's the thing. So Pluto is rebirth, transformation, Phoenix rising. It's all about change. The only thing though with Pluto is that Pluto is a little bit of a schoolyard bully. Pluto can sometimes snatch something out of someone's hand. Pluto can be lost. And also change, yes, transformation, Phoenix rising, all of that stuff. And Pluto being in Capricorn is definitely governments, rules, regulations, those types of things. Now, I wanted to show you because a lot of times I'm talking about all these things, and it's really hard to conceptualize. So I thought ahead, I guess, is basically what I'm telling you. I thought ahead, and I actually printed out today's astrological chart just so you could see where all the planets currently are. So this is today's astrological chart. And what I'm talking about here is all of these planets. Here's Mars, here's Ceres, and here is the Sun. And I'm trying to show you a little bit closer so that I can get both cameras. And you can see they're all right at 28 degrees at the very end of Scorpio there. But you can see they're together, even though how I'm always saying, oh, the peak or the height of it is really, that's when it's the strongest, but it lasts longer. Do you see why? Because they're all together, like smushed in there like a sandwich. And so they are at the very end of Scorpio right there. They're all about to move into Sagittarius. And sometimes people ask me about reading the chart. Astrology, and I didn't make this up, but astrology is the language of symbols. So you have to know symbols in order to know where these are. And this is the symbol. So people ask, how do I know what house is and everything? That's because you're looking at the symbol. This is Scorpio symbol with a little M with the hook on it. And then we have Sagittarius season, and they do move counterclockwise like this, and they move. So that's basically what the deal is. That's where they are all hanging out. And then we have Pluto up here, which they're sextile with. See, 28 degrees. That's how we know it's exact. Okay, so that's giving you a little astrology 411 in the background there. So you get that information, and so yeah, I mean, this could be good. I mean, it's not that it's if it's being going through a higher consciousness and a higher channel, this can be good. This can be positive. This can be transformation and personal growth and change and all those things. But then we get into that it can be, if we're in a sort of a little bit of a lower consciousness state or something like that, basically that can be something that we don't experience the sort of positive sides of it, because Pluto is Pluto. Always look at the players, And Mars is going to be sextile Pluto exactly tomorrow. So that's a lot. That can be inflammation too, just so that you guys know. Headaches, inflammation, things like that is very Mars and Pluto, Now, the two of them together can be explosively powerful, and this definitely can be something that that is, very active, and it could be even exercise and getting out and walking, and I'm going to clean up my whole yard, and all of a sudden I'm going to clean my basement, and then I'm going to go through the attic. And I mean, this can be a lot of exercise, and it can be motivation and drive and ambition, but it can be so forceful and so powerful that we really have to watch our presentation, because it could tip into being a little bit spicy. This can be also very sexy energy too, I should say. Mars and Pluto can be very sexy. Wendy said, your arthritis is acting up, wrists, legs, hips. Oh no, I'm sorry, wrist and hip. And then Ashley Ann was saying your legs were inflamed. See, Mars and Pluto are inflammation, in our body, and that can be it can be problems with blood, it can be problems with inflammatory swelling, things like that. Yes, arthritis, all that. I noticed I had a little bit of a sore back. My lower back was a little sore this morning. I exercised too much this weekend, and now I got a little bit of a sore back, but it's okay. So it's something that we just have to see, everybody's filter of how these planets come through us is always a little different. The planets channel, the energy channels through each and every one of us. So it depends on your baseline energy in order to know how that will affect you. Somebody said, what is this a chart of? This is the chart of current time today. I just printed it out. They're not going anywhere fast. So I'm just, these are activated. Like I said, the peak of it was this weekend, but you can see they haven't even gone really anywhere very far. They're all clumped together. Okay, like a little sandwich. All right, so I take questions at the end. People know that. Holly, oh, thank you, Holly. 50 stars. There you go. So thank you very much. Holly was the first one to do stars. And yes, I do take questions at the end. I like to get through the broadcast just so I can stay on task, because otherwise I'm like a squirrel, and I will just be like, oh, there's something over here. All right, so the peak or the height of this Mars sextile Pluto is tomorrow at 8:18 p.m. Eastern time. So earlier than that if you're on the West Coast. And then overnight between tonight, Monday and Tuesday, Ceres sextiles Pluto, and that's 12:48 a.m. So you can see they're just boom, 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 and they're just going to be active. So when I say the peak of it is the peak, and then we have a day, 2 days, 3 days. This could be active for over a week, this thing. So that's the peak of it, was this weekend, still going on right now. Now we get into Sagittarius season. Yay! So any Sagittarians out there, we are going to be talking about Sagittarius here. Sagittarius sun is going into Sagittarius. That's how we know it's the season, because the sun goes into Sagittarius on Wednesday, November 22nd, 2023 at 9:03 a.m. Eastern time. I get this question a lot. People will ask me if they're born on the cusp. But let's say you were born on November 22nd or November 23rd or 21st, and you might go, oh yeah, well, I think I'm a whatever, Sagittarius or Scorpio. And they assume that it changes at midnight. No. It's when the sun goes into that, and the sun goes into it every year is different. So you really need to use an online calculator, look up, I use astro.com, or Cafe Astrology is another good one. Any of the free calculators, you can put it in, and to really find out, and you have to have your exact birth time in order to really know if you are indeed that sign. So anytime you're born around that, cuspy time, where the sign could change possibly. I've broken a lot of hearts when people contact me and they think that they are whatever, Virgo, or they think they're a Pisces or whatever they think they are. And then I'm like, actually you were born like a half hour before it changed, and they assumed it was midnight. So that's why I tell you the time. So it starts officially at 9:03 a.m. Eastern time. So 6:03 a.m. if you're on the West Coast, where Sagittarius season does start, and that's on Wednesday. And so Sagittarius season, yay! We have a bunch of Sagittarians in the house. Now I'm going to talk about two things kind of at the same time, because that's this week, right? That's what I've been talking about this week. Oh, yay. Happy birthday, Molly. Yay. Katrina, Sagittarius. Ashley Ann, Sagittarius. Yes, Kristen, Sagittarius. You guys all coming out. And you'll feel this too if you have any planets there. If you have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising Sign, Venus, Mars. So the second planet I'm talking about, guess what? It's Mars, Sun and Mars, Sun and Mars, Sun and Mars. This is going to be this whole week. This is because they're together. I mean, you saw they're together. They're together in the sky. So that's basically what the deal is. So these are all now going to be moving, boop, over this line. That's basically what the deal is that Sun and Mars are going to be moving together over the line, and that's how we go into Sagittarius season. So I'm going to talk about kind of both, because the Sun is who we are in general. It's basically, if you think of like when someone says, hey, what sign are you? You're answering the sun sign. That's what sign you are, the sun sign. And so that's important. If the sun dies, we all die. It's a big, huge, important thing, to have your sun sign. And that's the biggest, object here in our solar system is the sun, followed by Jupiter. Now, the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter. Jupiter powers Sagittarius. Each and every one of our signs is powered by a planet, and that's basically what Jupiter is, the powering of Sagittarius. So Mars is moving into Sagittarius too. So the sun is on Wednesday, and then we have Mars moving into Sagittarius. Okay, and that's coming on Friday, the 24th, November 24th, day after Thanksgiving. And that's going to be at 5:15 a.m. Eastern time. So again, earlier than that, if you're on the West Coast, 2:15 a.m. And so, oh my goodness, Ashley Ann is the overachiever of, she got Sun, Neptune, Venus, Uranus, and Mercury in Sagittarius. Woo, that's a lot, 5 there. Holly said her cousin, oh my gosh, all her life thought she was a Scorpio, but no, she's a Libra. Found out on Cafe Astrology. Exactly. So you really got to know if you're born right on that day that it could change, which is anywhere from like the 21st to the 23rd, roughly. Then you need to really double check that, because it could have been that year that it changed on a whatever day. Yeah, so Mars is our action, our drive, our ambition, our motivation, and who we are sexually attracted to. It's our passion. So the sun is kind of us generally. I always describe this kind of like a company. Like the sun is the company, okay? It's like the whole entire, it's like, Apple or GE or TikTok or whoever. It's the whole company. And then these departments are the other planets and that kind of shows us like sort of what department they're in. And Mars is the department for get stuff done. Okay. I had to edit myself there. Get bleep done, just get it done. Okay. It's our action, our drive, our motivation, and our ambition. And it's also sexy, passionate, because it can be, our sexuality. And so if you have your Mars in Sagittarius, you might be sexually attracted to Sagittarians. It also is how you express yourself sexually. And so Mars is kind of fun and passionate. Again, it's our drive and our ambition. So how we're acting and how we're moving through life and how we're motivated is a Sagittarius motivation. Now, Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's a mutable sign, which means we're now going to be changing seasons. So mutables are the changers. And we start out in fall and then we end in winter, and that's kind of the Sagittarian's job. So it is a mutable sign, which can be very flowy, but it can also be a little like again, squirrel, a little over here and a little there. And Sagittarius is the natural ruler of the ninth house in the astrological chart. So if you have planets in your ninth house, that's a little Sagittarian flavor. Even if the sign is different, it still is the house that Sagittarius rules. And so again, we already have Mercury in Sagittarius. So Mercury is ahead of the pack right now. Mercury is all the way ahead of the sun. Here's Mercury. And so Mercury's already, floating around in Sagittarius there. So Mercury is how we think, talk, and communicate. And we're getting some Sagittarian. Now Sagittarius, I always say, if you don't want to know the truth, do not ask a Sagittarius, because they will tell you. They don't really have much of a filter. But a lot of Sagittarians are very spicy. All the fire signs are a little bit spicy. Okay. Likes to have competition. A lot of Sagittarians are into sports or some sort of competitiveness. It doesn't have to be physically, though I know a lot of Sagittarians that are into competitive. Back in the day when I was in my 20s, I was super into hockey. I know that sounds strange, but I lived in close to Philadelphia, and I was very into the Flyers. I was very into hockey. And so for one weekend, they gave you these, back then in the day, they gave you these little books and had all the players' signs. And so I actually looked up each and every player's sign, but not just their sun sign, but all of their whole chart. And I noticed woven through all of the hockey players was Sagittarius, through and through and through and through and through. It was really crazy. So a lot of Sagittarians are like that. They're into that healthy competition. A lot of Sagittariuses are lifelong learners. I always think of the philosopher, education, but it could be the school of life. A lot of Sagittarians. I have a special friend that was in my life that used to say, life is a buffet as a Sagittarius, that's kind of like a little of this and a little of that. And so it's about sort of living out all these life experiences. Sometimes Sagittarians are armchair travelers, like they watch travel shows or they sample cuisine that's travel oriented, but it is associated with the international area of the chart. And a lot of Sagittarians like to learn new languages, or they like to go out and explore and have these like fun experiences. I really feel like a lot of Sagittarians are quite fun. And if you think about Sagittarius season, the whole Sagittarius season is what we call holiday season. It's Thanksgiving. It's the start of Hanukkah. It's gets into leading up to Christmas. So yes, Christmas is technically in Capricorn, where we get the serious traditions and all that. But the whole time we're partying leading up to going to the holiday mixers and the holiday events and going to people's houses and shopping and traveling and doing all the stuff that we're doing during holiday time. That's pretty Sagittarian. Now, if you think about Jupiter's too much of a good thing, and Sagittarius really likes to party. Yes, I'm calling you out. I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart, so I'm not throwing stones at glass houses here. But Sagittarians are known for being the partiers, but also they are known for sometimes partying too excessively, whether that be drugs, alcohol, or eating too much, or, any kind of self-indulgence where it's like too much of like, it's okay to like, go to a party and kind of overindulge, but like when that's a lifestyle, that can be too much because that's what Sagittarius is prone to doing. Now, Sagittarius body area, speaking of partying too much, is the liver. Okay, so we got to just talk about the liver. And also it's the kind of like buttocks going down the hamstrings and your quads, the front of your leg, your back of your leg, the upper part of your leg, like the bum and the hip area going into that area. So sometimes Sagittarians can have problems with like hamstring issues or pulling, a muscle, or worse, like sciatica. So you got to watch that. Oh, yay, Andrea. 100 stars. I love playing for you my beautiful space clearing bell. Thank you so much. Stars are a way of giving a little tip to the broadcast. And again, if you guys like this broadcast, make sure you like my page, like my YouTube channel, like the post. Actually, I should go like this, like the post. And and yes, oh, I'm sorry, Katrina said, Gretchen, you're doing a beautiful job of describing how I feel as a Sagittarius, but my only excess is food. Well, but still, that's still a thing. Yeah, we have excesses. I mean, it's just a thing. I mean, I might have done all those things. Whatever, it's fun, and I love the Sagittarius heart of adventure and exploring. Now, the only sort of shadow side, I shouldn't say the only, but one of the shadow sides of Sagittarius, and again, this is what I'm talking about with astrology. There is a light and a dark, or a higher expression or a lower expression. So when we get into Sagittarius is definitely a sign that's opinionated, and they can have a lot of opinions. And sometimes it's not even based on something they personally experienced, but they can really argue that stuff. So some Sagittarians get very, we'll just say, very opinionated. And sometimes the opinion's not even based on very much. So we have to watch that. I've seen Sagittarians be a little bit of a blowhard sometimes, and speaking and pontificating on things. And they like to talk. Sagittarians usually are pretty gabby, pretty talkative, it is a more outgoing sign, and it is associated with, because again, ruled by Jupiter, it's helpful for groups of people, teams, bringing groups of people together and all of that. And that's where I want to segue into going into what the ruling archangel is of Sagittarius, because I like to talk about that, and it's Raguel. I believe that's how you pronounce Raguel, is named Raquel. And again, these archangels do not have a specific gender assigned to them. It's a they them situation, and Raguel is considered to be the friend of God. So if you think about Sag loves their friends. I mean, I really feel like Aquarians and Sagittarius is like, they're really like friendship oriented signs. And Raguel is helping, because these archangels really resonate with a lot of these signs. Raguel helps to bring peace amongst groups of people. So remember, I was just saying the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and helps to restore social order. That's really big, and I think we need Archangel Raguel right now because of everything that's going on in the world. It's kind of crazy. Raguel helps us to get rid of discrimination and helps us to get rid of harassment. So if you ever need help with something like that in your life, if you think of Sagittarius being the international traveler, I mean, obviously every sign can have like, a bad apple, we'll just say. But a lot of Sagittarians I know are really open-minded with like how people live, races, cultures. Like, I don't know, a lot of Sagittarians that I have met tend to be that way. And so if you think of Sagittarius being the perpetual learner and the explorer and the traveler, and then Archangel Raguel helping us to get rid of discrimination, I think that that's a really cool thing. So if you want to say a prayer to Archangel Raguel, because Raguel, so just to sort of put this in layman's terms, out of the archangels, Raguel was considered to kind of be like the sheriff. Okay. It was said that Raguel went out and restored justice and sometimes had to, make some arrests and beat up some demons. I mean, that was kind of the, the sort of function of Archangel Raguel. So if you ever need some sort of protection, but also restoring of the peace, you can say this little prayer, like mantra or like intention, whatever you want to call it, and say, thank you, Archangel Raguel, for restoring peace in my life, restoring peace in my relationship with, and you can fill in the blank. So if you're having problems with particular person or a group of people or some sort of thing where you really want to have more peace with these people and you want to get along better with them, you can ask Archangel Raguel to help you. And ironically or not ironically, see, all these things kind of crisscross, and it's sort of, that's why I love talking about the archangels, because they really sort of crisscross together with the sign, with the planet, and then with the archangel. So Raguel's color is light blue, and I think it's very interesting because Sagittarius is, a lot of the stones are blue. So if you think of a November Sagittarius, your birthstone is turquoise. Now, yes, this is not actually a real turquoise. This is a piece of dyed howlite, but I bring it on just because it's big and showy, and it like makes a point that it's the November said to be, but I think any Sagittarius and any of us can use beautiful turquoise. And the other, so December, I don't have a piece of this to show you, but December's birthstone for Sagittarius is blue topaz. So here you have turquoise, then you have topaz. Another great stone for Sagittarius, and I was wearing mine tonight, is a piece of some lapis, or even sodalite. And I know that they look very similar in the camera. There's a little difference to them when you see them in person, but sodalite is a beautiful, and that is the third eye chakra right there, is for sodalite. So any of the beautiful blue stones are good for Sagittarius season if you're wanting to get a little bit more Sagittarius energy, a little bit more lighthearted. A lot of Sagittarians I know are really funny. And again, they're fun people. Usually they can get intense. They're a fire sign, don't get me wrong. But when they party, they can play and they can party a lot. There's a lot of, I think I had mentioned this before, but at one point there was a ton of comedians on SNL, Saturday Night Live, that were both Sagittarius or Capricorn. But yeah, I don't know. It is something that, yes, Ashley Ann said the gabbiness is why I get along so well with Geminis. Or also too, yeah, Sagittarius and Geminis are opposite of each other. But I always say out of all the opposite signs, Sagittarius and Gemini are the most similar out of all of the and that's when we're going to get this full moon, is going to be in Sagittarius and Gemini. There is somebody that we all know that is a Sagittarius Gemini, and that is Donald Trump. He's got the opposition. He was born with that full moon in his chart. So he's a Gemini with a Sagittarius moon. Yes, Archangel, Ashley Ann said, Archangel Raguel helped you already this morning restore your relationship. Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's great. Aw. Oh, Katrina said, once when one of your grandchildren asked you why you were always smiling and laughing. Yeah, a lot of Sagittarians are quite fun, and this is that fun time of year. You can always tell the flavor of the time of year by the sign that we're in, the season that we're in. We just came out of dark Scorpio, which is, yes, Scorpios can be funny and lighthearted, but it is a time where it's more like, we're Day of the Dead, and we're Halloween, and we're remembrance of Veterans Day. It's like All Souls Day. It's all heavy, sort of heavier topics. And then we get into Sag, and it's like Thanksgiving, like when we bring 3 pies or 4 pies. It's a lighthearted, sort of more fun thing. Now, how do you get along with Sagittarians in your chart? And that will tell you how you get along, or how do you feel during this time of year. Roughly around this year it's the 22nd, but 21st, 22nd, 23rd, going into December of that time. How do you feel? And that can tell you a little bit. If you don't know your own personal astrological chart, that can give you a clue as well. Now, if you are a Sagittarius or a Gemini, you're going to be feeling this, because that's going to be taking place there going in. And if you also are a Pisces or a Virgo, this might test you a little bit. Yes, it's mutable. You're all mutables, but the Pisces Virgo might be tested a little bit. Now, Aries and Leo, this is very good news for you, because this is firing up your fire. Okay, so you're going to be in the fire. And so all the fire signs, it's like Wonder Twins activate, all the fire signs are activating at the same time. So if you're a fire person, that will really help you to fire it up and get things rolling in your life. And yeah, so that can be fun. Again, it's work hard, play hard. So sometimes Sagittarians can kind of laze about and sort of be like drifty, and other times they're very on it. So that's something that that can happen. Now, the day after on Thanksgiving, I promised that this was going to be a little touching in on some Thanksgiving forecast stuff. On Thursday, Thanksgiving Day in the United States, so if you're watching outside of the US, we're celebrating our Thanksgiving on that day. There's some kind of big energies. Again, here we go. I'm talking about now Mars is going to be conjunct Ceres. Mars and the Sun and Ceres. Oh my, Mars, Sun, Ceres are all like intermingling. So Mars is forming a conjunction with Ceres on Thursday, and that's at 12:38 a.m. So that's highlighting again the great mother and bringing up maternal females that are important, or thinking about nurturing. We might want to love someone and receive nurturing, but the problem with Mars is it's kind of like, here, take my nurturing. You know, I mean, it's like that's a little, we gotta calm it down, you know. Not be a little too aggressive with our nurturing. You're going to eat this pie and then eat all this other stuff I brought. You know, we want to like calm it down a little. So someone could force their nurturing on us, or we could force our nurturing on them, and we're going to take over or take charge. So we gotta relax a little with the nurturing. Remember, soft and gentle. Pet the bunny in a nice, soft and gentle way. Don't. Yeah. And then the other thing that's a little ouchy on that day. Is in the morning, the Sun, newly in Sagittarius, is going to form a square with Saturn in Pisces. So remember when I said that Pisces and Virgos might be getting a little tested? That's because they're going to be square each other. And that's happening, luckily, really early. Like the peak of it is going to be 4:47 a.m. But you know it's going to be active the whole day. So that's something that we're going to have to just sort of, that's a little bit of a delay, an obstacle, something on. Now, good news is if you don't have to go anywhere and your job that day is to eat as much food as possible and then lay on the couch, great. But if you're traveling on that day or leading up to that day, that could be a little bit of a delay, obstacles, you know, because Saturn is like, slow it down, you know. And so that could be a little ouchy. A couple people are saying I'm cracking them up. Well, good. See, I'm getting my Sagittarius on. Now, just because I wanted to help you all, and it's Thanksgiving holiday, I was really on it today, wasn't I? I printed the map. Yay. So this is roughly what it's going to look like around on Thanksgiving. We can see that Saturn Line, because the Sun is forming a square with Saturn. Saturn Line is running right down through a lot of like Colorado and like a lot of the planets here, like kind of middle America around this line. So if you're traveling anywhere around the Saturn line, that could be very specific to what's going on. And we even have, this one doesn't show Ceres because it's only the major planets, but we do have this Mars Sun thing kind of, you can see on either sort of sandwiching, these Mars and the Sun sort of sandwiching either side of the United States. So definitely East Coast. If you're traveling on the East Coast, Sun and Mars, again, they're right together. And then we got a little crisscross applesauce with Pluto going through here. By the way, Pluto is running through right now Iceland. And I don't know if any of you saw or heard Iceland having a lot of earthquake activity and volcanic activity. That's why, because Pluto's right smack in the middle of Iceland. So that's not good. So we have the Saturn line going through like North Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico. Okay, going over that. Yes, Ashley Ann. So the good spots, the fun sort of spots in the country are these two lines here, which again, I hope you guys can see. The green line's a little hard to pick up because it's going right through New England, which is nice. That's Jupiter. And luckily we don't have all that other stuff that we had going on a few weeks ago. And then that beautiful pink line, which is Venus. Okay, so that's fun. We got Jupiter here and Venus here. So if you're traveling to those places, that's going to be really nice. And Venus is our love, and then we have Jupiter, which is good times, and eating lots of food and having fun. So that could be nice. But if you're I said East Coast, and I apologize. This is West Coast. If you're traveling the West Coast, there's a lot of stuff here, especially up here in the very, very northwest. That's a lot of, with Pluto crisscrossing them, and we even have Uranus out to sea here. There's a lot of contention, and then we even have that like right in the middle of the country, like I said, with Mercury and Saturn, and we got some stuff going on there. So just be aware for travel. I wanted to show you guys where the like the hot spots are, and if you're traveling, that they might affect you, or you might have some stuff going on. Yeah, so there's that. So that is what the planets are doing. So we have to just watch a little bit, like I said, on because of that sun square Saturn thing. It can create delays, obstacles, something hard, and so that can be not as fun on Thanksgiving Day. And like I said, the next day, that next morning, Mars then moves into Sagittarius. So not only are we going to be Sagittarius, like with our general sun, then we have Mercury in Sag, and now we have Mars in Sag on Friday. And so that is something that we need, that we're making adjustment, and we're really moving out of Scorpio season. Now, of course, because the sun decided to square Saturn, you know who else is going to square Saturn, and that is Mars. Sun and Mars, Sun and Mars, Sun and Mars, Sun and Mars. Okay, so now we have, yes, exactly, Andrea said, remember to defrost your turkeys or your tofurkeys if you're a vegetarian or vegan. So now Mars is going to square Saturn, and the peak of that thing is coming on Saturday morning, but you can see if one's doing it, the other one's doing it right now. So again, how we act and how we want to move, we want to go forward, up. Saturn's like, Saturn's the brake. So, and that is coming to a peak on Saturday, November 25th at 11:57 a.m., but it's going to be active towards the end of the week, the whole, with the sun and Mars kind of trading spaces there, and sort of bugging us with this Saturn stuff. Now on Sunday, it's a little bit lighter and a little bit quieter. There's a lot of moon stuff going on. There's on Sunday the 26th, there is a weird love thing going on. Venus is going to form a quincunx with Uranus, and that's the day before the full moon. So always think about what's happening around the full moon. As we lead up to it, it's stronger and stronger and louder and stronger, So as we lead up to the full moon, that's where we get a little, so there's going to be a little love glitch. It's not major, but it's Venus and Uranus. Like someone might want their space, or someone might want some freedom, and the other person's like, well, I thought we were spending the day together, it's that kind of stuff. So there could be a little glitch coming on as we kind of get closer to the full moon, and then the full moon is intense, so then we feel those things, like instead of it being like, oh, no big deal, it was just a miscommunication, I misunderstood, sorry. It's more like, oh my God, this means that, my love is unrequited and I'll never be, whatever. So we got to not go there. We got to not go all the way into the deep end with the emotions. But I say that, and then sometimes the emotions hit and we have a hard time seeing through all that. But just so that you know. Yay, Roz. Okay. There we go. 200 stars. Thank you so much, Roz. I appreciate you. Oh, Dee Dee, okay. Your boyfriend asked, and you said a ring, and say specifically, I'm going to get you a ring for Christmas, so is he going to propose? Oh, interesting, yeah. Andrea, another 100 stars. Oh, thank you so much. I got to do a better one. There we go. Beautiful, 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 beautiful healing vibes and wonderful. Okay, so I hope that helps everybody. That is the layout this week. Sun and Mars, series 2 in the middle there. We are starting Sagittarius season. We're coming into the, now we're getting into party time and holiday season and all of those things. And then we do have some interplay between all of them. Sun and Mars and Ceres, they're going to be highlighting Pluto and Saturn. So, I mean, we do have to watch that. Even though the Pluto thing is positive, we just have to be a little, just have that little air of caution. And then the Saturn thing, you know, I mean, Saturn's a pain, you know, Saturn's like, slow down. Let's, you know, and Sagittarius doesn't want to do any of that. Sagittarius wants to be free and be fun, you know, and Saturn, we want to have a good time. Wendy, another 100 stars. Thank you so much. So yeah, so if you guys, and now it's question time. If you guys have any questions for me, I know a lot of people were getting enthusiastic and posting. But if you have any questions, I can't scroll back. But if you have any questions, now is the time to ask them. Wendy, thank you so much, Wendy. Dee Dee, oh, you want to know if you're getting the ring. Dee Dee, you got to slow down. Gotta slow down a little. All right, let's see. I can't show this. Let me just block her. But this is the card of love, Dee Dee. Okay. She's Venus, the goddess of love and beauty. Yes, she's beautiful. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. I forget what sign you are, Dee Dee. It's interesting. I'm going to say this. I actually do think you are going to get a ring. I am not sure that it's going to be for what you, how do I say this? Like, I don't think your partner wants to give it to you as a Christmas present or maybe even on Christmas. So maybe that's like more of like, he'll wait maybe for a birthday or Valentine's Day or some other day. So it's almost like you're getting disappointed here, and I'm like initially, but it's coming. Okay. So I don't know why, but I feel like he might not want to do it as a Christmas time thing. Like, it's almost like he doesn't want to, I don't know. It's like, I'm kind of hearing it's like, kind of like, I can't exactly put this into words, but it's almost like he doesn't want to be that predictable in a way. I don't know how to say that. All right. So hope that helps. Congratulations. I think that's beautiful. Okay. Oh boy. All right. Yes. So Kirsten said water broke today. 2 days short or 34 weeks. Ooh, yikes. Okay. Yeah, Dee Dee, it's going to be at a different time. I don't, Diwali, I'm not sure, Melinda, what you're asking about that. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, so Dee Dee said, yes, I feel like it's around Valentine's Day or birthday. All right, yes, Kirsten. Well, like, what's the question? What's the question? You just want to know insights, right? Oh, Dee Dee said her anniversary is on Valentine's Day. All right, what do we need to know about the water breaking? And by the way, stay tuned because I'm going to be pulling out one card for our collective consciousness. You know, I am seeing the baby. I'm seeing a healthy child. I am seeing that the child's going to need, you know, extra care. But I feel like as if the child is going to be okay. There's going to be some bumps in the beginning. There's going to be some, maybe at the NICU or something. We're going to have to be monitored. The child feels, I mean, and it makes sense because I just keep feeling the child looks very skinny to me, or very small, like kind of almost frail looking, but crying and, you know, moving around and wiggling and stuff. So that's good. So I hope that that helps. We can definitely say prayers that the child's gonna be okay. No, you're gonna freak out. I mean, like everybody's kind of freaking out and upset and worried, but I feel like the baby, like when I tune into the baby wants to be here. I feel. Let me look at this. Let me look at this. I feel like the baby's okay. Oh, you got gifts from God. Gifts from God. Okay, so if anybody out there is sending positive energy or wants to send Reiki to Kirsten's, but you got gifts from God. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting good cards about this baby. It feels like everybody kind of like is like, oh my God. But then I feel like everything works out with this baby. So just to let you know, and mama too, you know. Mama, I feel like has some kind of, I don't know if mama has gestational diabetes or high blood pressure. There's something going on with mom feeling. So we need to actually send her some energy and some positive, because I feel a little bit blood pressurey. Even I don't know if you can see, but my face is just all of a sudden getting really red. I'm a psychic medium, which means I feel in my body sort of what's going on. So that's like a blood pressure thing to me. I'm like burning up. It's crazy. Like I feel like my blood pressure is shooting up. So we gotta, I think we gotta get the baby. See, we're gonna have to breathe. Okay. So I think we need to get the baby out and let the baby come into the world. I think it's fine, but I think that will help your daughter. Okay. That's more of the energy around that. So we need to send more energy to the daughter, to the daughter-in-law or whatever. Okay. I hope that helps, Kirsten. Oh, Hindu holiday of light. Oh, I don't know what day that is. I'm sorry. That's my ignorance. I apologize. Yeah. Check on that blood pressure thing, because there's something going on with mama. And the baby needs to come out now, because that will help mama. Okay, there's a bigger reason for all of this happening. I feel like the baby needs to come out because that will help her. I know that sounds opposite of what we would think, but I actually feel like that would help her. Okay. Woo. Oh, you got good cards though. Okay. All right. So I hope that helps. I am going to pull one collective card, okay, for the evening, for the week. What do we need to know about holiday? Oh, somebody asked me to pull a card, Melinda, for Molly, for the birthday. Okay, so I'll pull a card for Melinda's Molly. Molly might be feeling sensitive around her birthday, okay? You're extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings, okay? So sometimes when the planets, Molly's a Sagittarius, I happen to know. So sometimes when the planets go into the sign, sometimes it can increase, because it just increases all the energy. So she might be feeling a little sensitive around her birthday. But she's fine. Look at the cards are flipping out. Overcoming difficulty. She's going to be okay. Molly is the card that I pulled for. Yay. All right. So I'm going to pull a card now for our collective energy. What do we need to know in order to have a successful holiday, get through the Sun Mars series stuff with Pluto and Saturn and all the good things that are going on. So what do we need to know this week for the holiday, for the United States, and from our spirit guides, our angels? What do we need to know on this earthly plane? Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Spiritual understanding. Okay. Archangel Raziel, I am bringing you esoteric information like symbols and helping you understand spiritual truths. Okay. So this card is basically saying, why are we having Thanksgiving? You know, I mean, what is the spiritual meaning? Yes, it's not a religious holiday, but it's a time when we need to express our gratitude, being grateful, having love in our lives, having people in our lives that are good. Yes, maybe it's not the love that you want, but it's something, you know, and we need to be able to express and receive the information that we are experiencing with this, with from spirit. Sometimes this can even mean that we have a deceased loved one. Holidays can be hard around having loss and having deceased loved ones. They are with us. They're with us. So this is bringing us that spiritual information that we need to connect with, and to remember that we need to have gratitude in our hearts. Okay, for real gratitude, because that is the reason why we're having this day, and the reason why we are, doing this stuff. It's not just the green beans and the casserole and the turkey and all those things that we indulge in our times, but it's really more than that. It's deeper than that. So it is saying that we are going to get some spiritual downloads. Okay. And then the other card I pulled, which is interesting, is she came out again. Okay. And that's our lovely Venus card here, which is the goddess of love and beauty. And it's remember to express our love and to feel the love in ourselves and not go crazy. It's not about the food. It's not about the mashed potatoes. It's not about watching football. It's not about all the traditional American things that we do. It's bigger than that, and it's good to remember that we are all connected. And if you're by yourself on this holiday, to remember that you are connected and that you are loved, and that we are having a time where spirit is around us. A lot of times spirit, our deceased loved ones, whether they're animals or whether they're people, they will often come in during times of celebration. They love to be around, okay, the living when it's time. So they will come in, they will show themselves sometimes. So sometimes we'll get downloads around that too. Now we do have to remember Saturn came out in the mix. So remember what I said, Saturn's being highlighted here around this time. And so it is something that Saturn's coming in saying, again, remember to take out the, things ahead of time, or to get to your location ahead of time, because Saturn is around. And Saturn is also males in our life, important males. So we have Ceres, which is the great mom, and then we have Saturn, which is the great dad, and so they're both around us as well. Yes, exactly. So what do your past loved ones do all day? I mean, I'm not God. I don't know that answer to that question. I don't think time is the same where they are. But I do know that they will be around, and they will try to break through to our dimension and be with us around celebration, around holidays, and also around times. Look, if you're feeling sad, lonely, or depressed, they will come during those times too. But they like to come when there's celebration and when there's fun times too. And so that is something that also is a wonderful thing. So I hope this helps. I hope that this gives guidance and offers some solace or whatever. If you found this to be helpful, make sure that you send it to a friend, a loved one, and say, hey, check out this Gretchen lady. She knows what she's talking about with astrology. If you want a personalized astrological session, yes, I am still doing sessions around the holiday and going into December. Also, I'm doing gift certificates. So if anybody is wanting to gift the gift of a reading to somebody, I am doing that as well. Thank you so much, everybody. I am expressing my love, my gratitude to all of you. Okay, I feel blessed that you guys, come and spend Monday nights with me or watch the replay on YouTube. You guys are awesome. And please be safe, be happy, be well, be healthy and blessed. See you guys next Monday night after the full moon. All right, namaste, everybody. Bye.